Hello, sports fans, and welcome to Scott Sports 101, Browns NFL Week 9 early late games post game show, and Sunday Night Football update show. Boy, did the Browns look good today. And so did Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson reared back in one motion, signaled his return. And after waiting weeks for Watson's right shoulder to get stronger, Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper knew in an instant that Cleveland's quarterback was back. It only took one pass. If it wasn't feeling good, he wouldn't. Uh, if he wasn't feeling good, he would not have thrown the ball deep, said Cooper, who hauled in Watson's pass in the first quarter for a 59-yard gain. So once he knew that, I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. Watson had two touchdown passes, one to Cooper on a on a ricochet off an Arizona helmet in just his second start in 5 weeks, and the Browns stuffed the Arizona Cardinals, holding them to just 58 yards in a 27 to nothing win today. As I mentioned, Cleveland's first shutout since 2007. This was their first shutout since then. Uh, was overshadowed by his return by the return of Watson, excuse me, who played in his first full game since September 24th when he took a big hit on a running play and sustained a strained rotator cuff in his shoulder. While there were moments of rust and he looked indecisive at times coming off the layoff, Watson showed he can withstand some punishment while completing 19 of 30 passes for 219 yards to 139 to Cooper. Uh, it was far from perfect, but just being on the field was enough to satisfy Watson. This is what I've been preparing and training very, very hard to get back to, he said, just to get out there and play free and be able to be very close to myself and just go out there and compete and have fun with my teammates. That's what today brought. It was also brought the strongest performance to date by Cleveland's aggressive defense. The Browns are now 5-3 on the season and overwhelmed rookie Clinton Tune and the Cardinals, who are now 1-8 on the season from the start. The Browns recorded 7 sacks with Delvin Tomlinson getting to Tune 2.5 times. The Cardinals only ran 5 of 48 plays on Cleveland's side of the field and didn't get deeper than the 44. We couldn't run it. We couldn't protect it. We couldn't throw it, said first year Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon. Watson, who gave the Browns hope, he was ready by practicing 3 straight days this week, connected with Cooper on an 11-yard scoring pass. He also hooked up with tight end David Njoku on a 5-yarder. Unlike Cooper, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said he thought Watson looked like himself much earlier. Pre-game, he said, Kareem Hunt had a 3-yard TD run, and Dustin Hopkins kicked 2 field goals for Cleveland. Arizona has lost 6 straight. The Cardinals announced Saturday that Tune, a fifth-round pick from Houston, would start instead of activating Kyler Murray, who was close to making his return after suffering a season-ending knee injury last December. Tune was the obvious choice after Arizona traded Joshua Dobbs, its starter in the first 8 games. After and if being blasted by the Browns wasn't bad enough for the Cardinals, Dobbs had quite a debut for Minnesota coming off the bench and leading the Vikings to a win over Atlanta. And I will get to that momentarily in just a little bit. Tune couldn't get anything going against the Browns, who pressured him on virtually uh, every snap he completed, 11 of 20 passes for 58 yards with 2 interceptions. Frustrated, obviously, Tune said. Disappointed, I want to go out and put up a better showing. The Browns barely let him breathe. Arizona had just 31 yards at halftime, and the Cardinals, uh, as the Cardinals' six first half possessions, went punt, 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 interception, punt, and it didn't get much better after halftime. It feels great, said star defensive end Myles Garrett. I haven't seen a shutout in a while, and it was a perfect back game. We haven't been playing up to the standard that we've set on defense, and we played up with our hair on fire. Browns led 13 to nothing at the break on the strength of two field goals by Hopkins and a fluky touchdown, which came after Denzel Ward picked off Tune. Cleveland caught a huge break on the scoring play as Watson's throw deflected off of the helmet of Cardinals defensive lineman Dante Stills, uh, caromed high in the air, and it was grabbed by Cooper in the end zone. A week ago, the Browns were victimized by a similar play when a late pass by backup quarterback P.J. Walker bounced off the helmet of a blitzing Seattle defender and was picked off, setting up the Seahawks' comeback win. The football gods owed us one, Cooper said. And Cooper also hauled in a 49-yard pass from Watson on a play the pair designed on the sideline, and that was a new playbook play in the playbook. They drew it up in the dirt, said Stefanski. I called it. And then Arizona's 58 yards were the third fewest allowed by the Browns in team history. Cleveland gave up 47 to Chicago in 2021 and 53 to Pittsburgh in 1989. And they held that line today. And there were some injuries. Cardinals linebacker Zaven Collins was evaluated for a concussion in the first half and returned. Offensive lineman Will Hernandez had a knee injury, and DJ Humphries had an ankle injury. Both went out in the second half. Defensive lineman Roy Lopez was also treated for an injury that was not announced. Brown starting left tackle Jedrick Wills Jr. left on crutches, and his right leg was immobilized after being carted off in the third quarter. Wide receiver Marquise Goodwin left with a head injury early in the third quarter. He was assisted from the field and taken straight to the locker room for an evaluation and treatment. We'll let you know more when it becomes available. Well, up next, the Cardinals host the Falcons on November 12th at State Farm Stadium in Arizona. It's not going to get any easier because the Falcons have been playing well, although despite the loss, they're falling to Minnesota today. And the Browns, it's a visit to the AFC North leading Baltimore Ravens. And we got to get a little revenge on them, boys. We got to beat them next week. So, but the Browns, they just looked awesome today. This game could not have gone better for the Browns today. And Deshaun Watson. Browns get the game balls. Deshaun Watson, 19 of 30 carries and attempts, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 14 attempts, 38 yards, 1 touchdown. And Amari Cooper, 139 yards, 9 receptions, 1 touchdown. And go to the Browns right now. Jerome Ford had 20 attempts rushing, 44 yards. So he did pretty well today. Njoku had 6 receptions, 4 yards. And Myles Garrett looked really good today. And Tahaki really played good. He had 1 interception, but he looked awesome. He was really making the plays. He was making the stops. And Hopkins, 2 of 3 field goals on 45 of 3 of 3. Boy, did they look good, the Browns today. And I took the Browns and won with that one. Now I'm going to give you the other scores. This morning, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Miami Dolphins 21-14. I already gave the game balls for that one. The and Miami had a chance, but they just couldn't get over that hurdle. They couldn't get that last touchdown to tie it up or get a 2-point conversion to win it. The Minnesota Vikings in the final seconds of today's game upset the Atlanta Falcons 30-28. And Josh Dobbs had not had time to learn his new Minnesota teammates' names in his 5 days with the team, much less figure out the playbook. That didn't stop Dobbs from thriving in what he described as a learn as you go, hair on fire, hold on to your seat challenging game. Dobbs is the first one to throw 3 touchdown passes, 2 passes, and including a go-ahead 6-yarder to Brandon Powell with 22 seconds remaining, and also ran for a score 5 days after being acquired in a trade to help rally the Vikings past Atlanta 31-28, and for their 4th straight win. And Minnesota goes to 5-4. Atlanta falls to 4-5. And let's see. Let's see who they. I'm going to see who they play next week. Vikings continue their tour through the NFC when they host the New Orleans Saints next week. And the Falcons, they visit Arizona next Sunday. So we shall see. And the game balls go to Josh Dobbs for sure. He gets one. 20 of 30 carries and attempts, 158 yards rushing. The receiving, and 2 touchdowns in the rushing yards. And receiving, 68 yards, 7 attempts, 1 touchdown. And Alexander Madison, 2 receptions, 49 yards, 1 touchdown. The Baltimore Ravens just rolled all over the Seattle Seahawks, 37-3 today at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And boy, Seattle just struggled. They were limited to 1 field goal today. And Lamar Jackson, Odell Beckham Jr., and Keaton Mitchell get the game balls for that game. And boy, Seattle just struggled offensively and defensively. And boy, the Baltimore Ravens just really let the Seattle, they dominated the whole game. And next week, Baltimore hosts has the Browns coming to their neck of the woods, and the Seattle Seahawks host the Washington Commanders next Sunday at Lumen Field in Seattle. So hopefully, we'll see if they can bounce back from that loss. Uh, the 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 Green Bay Packers beat the Los Angeles Rams 20-3 today at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And this was Packers just dominated that whole game, and uh, I think it's Jordan Love is his name. Yeah, Jordan Love. Uh, Aaron Jones and I think it's Luke Musgrave get the game balls for that one. The Houston Texans came from behind in the final seconds to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 39 to 37. CJ Stroud threw a game-winning touchdown to win it. And so Houston just really they go to they were I think they're 4-4 I believe on this. They go to 4-4. Tampa Bay falls to 3-5. The Washington Commanders beat the New England Patriots 20-17 today in Foxborough. And New England, they had a chance and couldn't do it. They fall to 2-7, and I believe Washington is 4-4, and Sam Howell, Ryan Robinson Jr., and Dotson get the game balls, and Washington goes to 4-5. As I said, New England falls to 2-7. The New Orleans Saints beat the Chicago Bears 24-17. Indianapolis Colts prevented the Carolina Panthers from being their second win. They beat the Carolina Panthers 27-13. The Las Vegas Raiders rolled past the New York Giants 30-6 today. And the Philadelphia Eagles held out the Dallas Cowboys 28-23. And right now, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills are battling it out at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Cincinnati up 14-7 right now with 13:55 left to go in the second quarter till halftime. It's a first and 10 to Cincinnati at 22. And the Bengals have the ball. It's a 4th and 11 to Buffalo 43 in the last play. Martin punts 38 yards to the Cincinnati center. Ferguson to the Cincinnati 22 for 3 yards. Josh Allen pass incomplete. There was no gain. That's why the Cincinnati has the ball. And that's pretty much where we stand right now. And both teams are coming off wins from last week. And I've got the Bengals for this one. And right now I am 9-3. I lost on Atlanta, so did my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law took KC, and I took Miami, so I lost on that one. And we both lost on the Thursday night game. But I have the Bengals. He has the Bills. So we'll see. And tomorrow we have the Jets and Chargers. And so we'll see what happens in that one. But that's going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Browns early late games post game show and Sunday Night Football update show. And so I'll be back with the Sunday Night Football post game show once the game between the Bills and Bengals has concluded. The Browns, they are all over this Arizona Cardinals 27-0. Go Browns. And as I say, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.